Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this video, we're going to take a look at some vinyl acquisitions that have come into the Serial at Midnight studios in the last week and a half. It's been a while since we've done a dedicated vinyl video here on the channel. They pop up, like records pop up in the thrift store videos from time to time, actually kind of a lot lately. And I did just do a 1-hour record collection overview. It's like part 1 of 3 record collection tours for my Patreon supporters. But here on the main channel, I haven't talked about records in a dedicated video in a long time. So this fixes that. It's been too long. So I have 5 albums that I want to talk about. And let's just jump right into it. The first album that I want to talk about is Willie Nelson's Teatro. This is a fantastic album. In Willie Nelson's career and his discography, this is kind of unique. So it's from 1998, and it was recorded in this old theater. The theater that you see here is where it was recorded. It was an old, abandoned, disused theater. And so it's produced by Daniel Lanois, who had just come off of 1997's, I believe, Time Out of Mind album for Bob Dylan. And that was the album that kind of put Bob Dylan back on the map. It kind of reaffirmed who he was, that mysterious, ethereal, haunted Americana quality, lots of reverb, like dragging chains. There's dragging chains on Time Out of Mind. It's just rooted in this very specific sound. And it kind of translates here because this was recorded in that old theater, it has a spooky, haunted quality. And Willie Nelson gets to revisit some of his famous material, but it sounds different here. And it sounds great because of the ambiance of where it was recorded. And you know, Willie Nelson has always been, he is country. There's no denying he's country. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. If you like that, cool. If you don't, I'm sorry. But his influences, you know, he's influenced by country, Ray Price, you know, all these people, but he's also influenced by like Django Reinhardt and jazz and Gershwin, and a lot of that kind of comes to play here. It's not necessarily a country album. It's just kind of a melting pot of different styles. It's Willie Nelson, and it's great. And this was a gift to me from Eric Griggs. So I picked this CD up in a thrift store recently for $1, and Eric Griggs loves this album, and he wanted me to have the vinyl because this is a special album for him, so he mailed me the vinyl as a gift. So I wanted to thank him on this video for mailing this record to me. It's a double album set. I will show you. I've been slipping this in and out of the plastic when I want to open it because I don't have a sleeve for it yet, a protective sleeve. It's a double album, and it is absolutely beautiful. And Eric Griggs has been such a profound friend to me, to the channel, to the community. He's a designer, the Eric Griggs Design Studio. He has mailed us pins. He's in shirts, photography. He's a Renaissance man who is a very creative person, and I am pleased to announce for the first time, Eric Griggs is spearheading the t-shirt initiative for Serial at Midnight. And so cool, awesome t-shirts are coming not in months, not in weeks, but in days. So keep your eyes peeled here for some fantastic designs. I'm so excited about them. I have prototypes on hand, and they look amazing. So stay tuned. But thank you, Eric, for Teatro. It's a fantastic album. I highly recommend it. The rest of these, believe it or not, came from Target. If you have a Target store, I have 2 in my area, my immediate vicinity, and they both have vinyl on clearance. Now, they had them like 30% off, and then you wait long enough, and they go to 50% off. And if you wait even further than that, they go to like 70% off. But I didn't want to risk it, so everything I got here was 50% off. So I picked up Earth, Wind & Fire Volume 1. This is their Greatest Hits Volume 1. I'm sorry, the best of Earth, Wind & Fire Volume 1. Earth, Wind & Fire, kind of that 70s disco, funk, soul, R&B. I don't know exactly how we'd classify it, but Shining Star. You guys know Shining Star. What are some of the other ones you might know? They do a cover of Gotta Get You Into My Life from the Beatles on here. This was, I think it was $9 on clearance, and it had a little card inside where you can redeem the digital copy, so you can download the MP3. So I've got the vinyl for the house, and I've got the MP3 for the car, you know, for my iPhone. So it's fantastic. It's got one of the things about vinyl that I really love is you get the lyrics, you get like the full the full blown up experience. I'm so happy that vinyl is back. So that's the second one. And then I also grabbed, this was really cool. I grabbed Marvin Gaye, What's Going On. This is coming like this nice protective sleeve. I didn't put this in here. It came like this. I know Marvin Gaye's hits. I know What's Going On, the title track of this album. I know Mercy, Mercy Me. Obviously that's one of the best soul songs of history. But there's a lot of stuff that I'm not familiar with by Marvin Gaye. So this was very exciting to finally grab. It's a beautiful set. I'll take this one out of the protective sleeve too. It's a single album, but it has the gatefold sleeve with some photos, lyrics, things like that. Beautiful. On a similar note, 70s soul, Stevie Wonder's Original Musicarium Volume 1. It doesn't say Volume 1, it just says 1. But it is, this is basically kind of like an anthology for Stevie Wonder released in 1982, I believe it was. It doesn't say, but I believe it was released in 1982, and it was kind of like a greatest hits package. But the twist was that the end of every side, so side A, side B, the end of every side, it's 2 records, had a new song. So there are 4 new songs, and the last new song at the end of side 4, or I guess it would be side D, 1, B, 3, and D. The last song on the end of the last side is Do I Do, which I think is one of Stevie Wonder's amazing best songs. I love that song. It sounds like Michael Jackson to me. I think Quincy Jones might have been involved in it. Don't quote me. If you guys are going to Wikipedia right now, don't. Just stop. Hey, hands away from the keyboard. But it has that early 80s, I don't know how to describe it. It's just that it's kind of like a Motown sound, kind of like a funk sound. I love it. It's one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs. This album, this double LP set has some great ones on here. It's got Superstition, You Are the Sunshine of My Life. It's got, Master Blaster, jamming. And Do I Do, Isn't She Lovely? That's on here as well. Stevie Wonder, I don't think we talk enough about Stevie Wonder. I think we have done Stevie Wonder a disservice by not talking about him every single day, because he was a genius. He's still around, but he's not, he's not cranking out albums like he did at one point in time. Stevie Wonder is a genius from a producer standpoint, a songwriter standpoint, an instrumentation standpoint, musician standpoint. So many songs. I was talking about this with somebody, I think it was on Instagram not that long ago. So many like hip hop or rap songs that we know the tune for go back to Stevie Wonder songs, like so many to the point that you don't even realize, or I didn't realize. I'm like, wait, that Will Smith song is a Stevie Wonder song. Oh, that so-and-so song is a Stevie Wonder song. Like, his songs have lived on through sampling and stuff like that, I guess. But I've had a really great time discovering Stevie Wonder in the last year or two, really. I picked up his greatest hits on CD, and I was like, wow. Wow. I had no idea all these songs were him, or that all these songs were so good. Moving on to the last one, it's the one from the thumbnail. It's the one that I was the most excited about. It's the Beatles' Revolver on vinyl, half price. It was $9, 9 and change. Maybe it was $9.50. So these were reissued. It's been 5 or 6 years now, I guess. But 2012. Okay, so it's been longer than I thought. They reissued the Beatles catalog on vinyl, and fairly priced. And I had originally intended to grab all of them, and I just never did. I got Rubber Soul, Sgt. Pepper, Abbey Road. I think I got A Hard Day's Night. Again, the plan was to buy all of the Beatles reissues, and it just never happened. So now I have added Revolver to the mix. This is Bree's favorite album. This is Bree's favorite Beatles album. I'm partial to Rubber Soul. I think on the anthology, the Beatles anthology, Ringo says that he thinks that you can play Rubber Soul and Revolver one after the other, and they kind of feel like a double album. They kind of feel like one of a piece. I'm not sure about that. Who am I to argue with Ringo? I think Rubber Soul has a little bit, it's still got a foot into the woo days, and Revolver is a little bit more aggressive. It feels like an angrier album to me, but It's the Beatles, and it's fantastic, and I love this record. Here's an interesting thing. As I've gotten older, so I've been into the Beatles for a hot 25 years now. I'm no newcomer when it comes to the Beatles. I love the Beatles. They blew my mind when I was like 15, 16 years old. It was like a slap in the face. It was like, oh, everything has changed. You know, what they did for music when they were new, they did for me in the 90s. But as I've gotten older, you know, at the time I was really into like the White Album and Abbey Road and Let It Be and the more rock oriented stuff. As I've gotten older, I find myself really drawn to these middle period Beatles albums. Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver. And again, I think Rubber Soul is my favorite, but that's like saying, you know, my favorite kind of pizza is such and such. Like it's all fantastic. So this has been added to the collection. Now I just have to track down like all the other ones. Beatles for Sale. I have Beatles for Sale as well. I like that one too. So anyway, that is the haul. I would say if you guys live near a Target store, if you're in the U.S., I don't know if Target's in Canada or not. If you live near a Target store, check out their entertainment section. They usually have like a clearance end cap. There's a lot of records there, and they're half price. They have the store that I go to has a Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers for half price right now. Pink Floyd's Welcome to the Machine. Is it Welcome to the Machine? They have some Beach Boys, like a Beach Boys anthology, half price. They have like here's my trick. I'll go ahead and tell you. They have multiple copies of those, so I'm kind of waiting to see if they go even further down to 70%. But that's a gamble. That's a gamble, because sometimes things just disappear. Sometimes even maybe somebody comes in and buys them all. They could send them out to a wholesale store. I'm gambling. I realize that. So, but that's my advice is check your stores for some half price vinyl or some reduced vinyl at the very least. So guys, finding anything out there, you picked up any cool albums lately? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you so very much. So until next time, I will catch you later.